Hello.
And welcome to Film Bastards.
Welcome to episode 461 of Film Bastards. My name's Ian Loring, and as always, I am joined by...
Becky Foster, hello everyone.
I'm Matt Foster, hello everybody.
Hello, indeed. Bex is back.
Back.
So we have...
The child
back,
has been
back.
dispatched. She's Liverpool's problem now.
Yep, absolutely. My child is still here. My dog is being dispatched to the kennel tomorrow. But yeah, I think I'm less excited about that than you were about Izzy going to Liverpool. But anyway, and not for any bad reason, by the way. It's just we embark on our holiday tomorrow. That's all. She's a good girl. So coming up on this week's show, we have got reviews of Kevin Smith going back to the quick stop with Clerks 3, and a film that I basically had zero interest in, but we'll see how it goes. Confess, Fletch. We'll also have news, trailers, I think, what we've been watching, Twitter questions. We had some good interactions. We had some really good interactions on Twitter recently, actually. I feel like I don't know whether our audience is growing or anything, or just like, but it feels like we're getting some good back and forth of late. So at Film Bastards on Twitter, come follow us and join the fun. Patreon.com/filmbastards. We just recorded the latest part of I Hate Every Ape I See from Bastard A to Bastard Z, where we talked about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Very sad that we've only got one more part of a marathon called that, I'll be honest. But hey, so patreon.com/filmbastards. It's $2 a month. You get an awful lot of extra content. You get early access to the regular show, always 2 days before it goes out on the main feed. And we are a Pod Syndicate podcast, so please listen to other like-minded podcasts like His Film, Her Movie, Chin Stroker vs. Punter, Entertainment Landfill, the Iron Sequel, and the Rewatch Project. And as Mark said last week on the old YouTubes, there's quite a bit of kind of like music-related content planned, isn't there, Mark? It's not something that I'm as close to, so would you like to speak on that at all?
Could you just music-related content on YouTube, Mark? He was just stirring his chili. Sorry, guys.
Okay. There's basically they are little videos explaining significant and historical live performances. So far Mike's done one on the 68 comeback special Elvis one, and Noel has done one on, I believe it was, I just want to get the song right, so it was a Fleetwood Mac performance, and let me just find where it was. Where is it? Pod Syndicate gone?
What was that?
That's weird that it's not done it in alphabetical order. There we go. It was Silver Springs, the live 97, the dance special. So yeah, so just give them a bit of a watch. There'll be more going out there. I'll be adding one to it in the next week or so.
Have you decided what yet?
Yeah, but you have to wait and see.
Oh,
No, he's not saying. That's great. Sorry, just as I crack open a can. Apologies. So yeah, no, brilliant. So that's the Pod Syndicate YouTube channel. Also, Film Bastards, we're on YouTube. There have been views, so you may actually be listening to the show through YouTube right now. And if you are, welcome. Hi. A little favour that we would maybe ask to people who don't listen to us on YouTube. Fancy just subscribing anyway. I'm not going to ask you to like and ask for notifications and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can if you want, but I think that would actually help. Also, just putting out another call, reviews on iTunes would be really, really, really helpful as well. It's a bit of a sea of film podcasts of late, and it can be hard to get notice. So, but reviews is one of those things that does help with that. So, yeah, please do put the good word out there about the good ship Film Bastards. But so we recorded on Wednesday. It's Sunday now. However, there has been some film news. Woody Allen has said that he is retiring after his next film that's in pre-production. Mm-hmm. I feel like that news would have hit in a very different way a decade ago.
Yeah. It's to focus on writing his first novel, I believe, is the excuse that he's come up with.
Oh, fuck off, Woody.
Yeah. Dude's in his mid-80s. And yeah, it's kind of wild that Timothée Chalamet has been around long enough that he starred in a Woody Allen film when it was still somewhat acceptable to star in a Woody Allen film.
I think he maybe just got in just before people started to call it out for being unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, because I'll take a drink if you want, but Griffin Newman from Blank Check was in A Rainy Day in New York. Got some shit for it on social media, which I think was probably pretty harsh because that guy would not have been in that film if certain things that are known now were known. And he apparently he donated his fee to charity, so it's a little bit fair enough. But it's I don't know. It's odd. A Rainy Day in New York. That film feels like it wasn't that long ago. And then after that, he's just been doing stuff in European countries that will still apparently finance him. But I don't know. I mean, like, Woody Allen played a massive part in my fucking film, like, education in sixth form. I think I've said this before on the show, but my English teacher, who I got on personally well with and turned me on to Sight and Sound, and lent me her DVD of Raging Bull, so that was my first watch of Raging Bull, and Manhattan, and then later called me the most abusive, obnoxious and disruptive pupil she's ever had the misfortune of teaching in a school report. Don't really know why. I don't think I was that bad. But yeah, he played a big part, you know, like Manhattan was a hell of a film for me at that time. Annie Hall absolutely was. I mean, Manhattan, looking at that film now, it is a little bit holy fucking shit. What was everybody smoking in terms of kind of letting him get away with what that film is about? But he was he is. He's not dead. He has a wit, and he had an awful lot to say about the human condition. And has his work been relevant for at least the last decade or so? Probably not. I think Blue Jasmine was probably the last one that seemed to hit in any way. But I mean, like, I'll be honest, I don't think I'll ever go back and watch a Woody Allen film again now, because I think there's just too much of a taint on it. But I thank him for being a part of my film education growing up, and I'm not entirely sure I wish him well, but I don't think I necessarily wish anything super negative on him either. Sorry if that gets me cancelled, I don't know. Mark and Becky have cancelled me.
I struggled with Woody Allen I tried with Woody Allen. Like, I really tried watching it all back and watching it. And for a long time, I was very much like of the opinion of, do you know what? Maybe I'm just too young to get this. Maybe I just don't have the sort of life experience to understand where this comedy is. Or maybe I'm just not smart enough or anything like that. I think it was my opinion on Woody Allen for a long time. And then I started to realise sort of in the late 90s, early 90s that, no, do you know what? It's just not my thing. I don't know, things like that I've enjoyed. Annie Hall's very good. And I enjoyed Bullets Over Broadway and Mighty Aphrodite and things like that. But I think I went to see Sweet and Lowdown at the cinema, and was like really like pumped because it was like this. I think it had been nominated for a bunch of awards, and it had Sean Penn in it, and I was really looking forward to it. I remember getting about halfway through it and thinking, I don't get this. And then I got further into it, was like, no, do you know what? This just isn't that good. It's not bad, but it's just not that good either. So I think it's just one of those where it's just, he's never been for me, so him going away just doesn't, I just don't care, really.
No, I can't say I care. Sorry, Bex, go on. No, please, sorry.
I've not watched many Woody Allen movies. I don't like their vibe. The ones that I have seen, there seems to be a bit too much wish fulfillment in them, for him, and so I can't really speak about it from a educated point of view. I've seen one film of his that I like, and that's
Midnight in Paris?
Yeah. And that's largely because I'm a big Adrian Brody fan. Even the V-neck sweater period, Adrian Brody. Even that film where he fucks that thing that he makes.
Splice.
Splice, that's it, yeah. You know, yeah, he does fuck that thing, right?
He does fuck that thing, yeah. That was not a great artistic choice from the writer's point of view.
No, I thought it was a great artistic choice from the writer's point of view.
But yeah, I don't,
Bex,
don't like him. There's like an air of just ickiness over Woody Allen that makes me just not want to watch his films. And that was before I was even aware of the allegations against him. He's just a bit like, he's one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm such a nice guy, why won't girls fuck me? It's because you're a creepy fucking weirdo, Woody. He's just got that air about him. He's icky.
Yeah. He comes across the sort of person who would chip away at a girl at work, who would eventually then go, do you know what, I'll go out with you to shut you up, and he'd be like, see, I always get them. It's like, no, you don't.
It's just gross.
Apologies for the dog barking there. Sorry. Just saw it on the waveform.
It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, Zelig's really fun, and Hannah and Her Sisters is fucking fantastic. And I mean, I like Midnight in Paris. Vicky Cristina Barcelona is a like horny film. Like, I mean, which Woody Allen, fair enough. But then I don't know. I'm just a bit like, well, yeah, I would like to see those people be horny on main on screen together. But not trying to take away from any of the real world stuff. And it like I say, it's like I don't feel like I'll be watching any of his work again in the same kind of way that it's like watching Bryan Singer stuff feels very tough now. And especially because he also made Bohemian Rhapsody. But yeah. Anyway, Woody Allen. Also, in some really positive news, following up from Evil Dead Rise moving from HBO Max only to getting a theatrical release, it has been announced that Steven Soderbergh's Magic Mike Last Stand... Oh my God, it's a very simple title. Magic Mike's Last Stand, which Soderbergh has basically said is his Magic Mike version of All That Jazz. Have another drink, folks. Is going to be getting a theatrical release Super Bowl weekend, February next year. Let's fucking go.
That suggests that somebody's watched it and gone, or watched a rough cut and gone, wait a minute, fuck that shit, cinema.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely the change in studio direction, which we've talked about on the show. But like, they are actually going, do you know what? We can actually make money if we release these things in the cinema. And Super Bowl weekend is just great counter-programming time for it, you know? Like, it's... really, really hope it does well, because Magic Mike XXL disappointed. But but also just seeing a Soderbergh film in a cinema again, because he's no sudden move in Kimmy. He was pretty happy to just go, yeah, give me a budget, I'll do what I want, you stick it on HBO Max, no problem. It's cool that it's getting a theatrical, and I mean, like, the fact that Evil Dead Rise is getting a theatrical speaks to their confidence about that film as well. So yeah, just wonderful news. Also, wonderful news, maybe the last news item I can think of, but it's been busy. In just unexpected, really, news, Francis Lawrence and Keanu Reeves are reuniting for a Constantine sequel.
Which seems a little bit like a one that basically fans of the original have kind of just wished into life. That smacks of something like one of the streamers has gone, fucking hell, a lot of people watch Constantine. And as soon as gone,
Yeah.
They do? It's like, yeah. Alright then.
It's interesting getting a bit of an insight into that kind of thing, because there was this report in the Hollywood Reporter about how Universal are fucking thrilled with just how well The Northman has done on premium video on demand.
Yeah.
And it's now in the black.
Yeah.
And that film being in the black this close to theatrical release, when it's like a $70 million Viking film, and it was that film, it feels like there's an awful lot of good news stories about, hey, do you know what? Films make money happening at the moment. I mean, I think I mentioned it on Wednesday's show, but Barbarian doing $10 million. The fucking Woman King is beating expectations in the US.
Yep.
A+ cinema score, which is insanely rare. And it was projected to do about 15 to 16 million. I think it's on for 19.
Really good.
Which is really good. That thing is playing an IMAX in Orlando. Which I would need to see on Wednesday or Thursday, because then Avatar's out in IMAX. I think I might try and fuck off and go see The Woman King Thursday night in IMAX, and I can't wait. A+ cinema score, man. Like, there's an awful lot of good news stories happening at the moment, and they are topped off by Constantine 2, because fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
Get Gavin Rossdale back.
Yes. Yeah. Get Tills back.
Can't remember what happened to him in Constantine. I
He
feel
gets-
like I watched that in the last couple of years as well.
Doesn't he get, like, essentially, like, fucking dusted by it?
I feel like he's like a early third act kill-off.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. But let's get Tilda Swinton back.
Yeah, I'm back on the Tilda Swinton train after 3,000 Years of Longing. I'll watch her in more stuff now.
She's very good in Constantine.
Yeah, she is, yeah. Oh, she's fucking... Is she Gabriel?
Yeah.
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 Fucking love Constantine. Is it on anything? Let's have a look.
I think it's on Netflix. I think I passed it the other day.
Yeah.
Fuck yes, that's a tonight watch then. Yes. You can go to bed. Yeah, it is. And Prime, guys. Just FYI.
Maybe it was Prime I saw it on. It was. I was looking for stuff to download onto the iPad, so I was on all of them. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So Constantine 2, brilliant. Right. Trailers. I feel like there's been like maybe one.
What have we watched? Mr. Harrigan's Phone.
Didn't even know they were making this into a film. I'm really excited. It's a really good short story.
Yeah. Basically, Donald Sutherland plays a dead guy.
I mean, it's not always a dead guy.
Well, he isn't dead, but he's alive when local kid gives him a phone or something in it.
Yeah, so basically it's like he's really old and he doesn't have any new tech, so the kid gives him an iPhone. And then he dies, and then the kid slips the phone into his, because he gets really attached to his phone and really excited about stuff he can find online and all this kind of stuff. So as like here's this thing you love, he slips it into his jacket pocket when he's about to be buried. But they've got a really good relationship, and he's been talking to about this bully at school, and this bully beats the shit out of him. So he rings Mr. Harrigan's phone and just leaves him a voicemail as a way of like talking to him. He knows he's not going to reply or anything. But then the kid gets fucked up. So yeah, so like what's going on there? And then like various other things happen. It's like shit, somewhere he's getting these messages and fucking people up for me. And it's about that whole conflict. It's a really, really good short story in the If It Bleeds compilation, is that right? Collection. Very excited.
I thought this was a series. I don't know why, so I didn't bother watching the trailer for this. I don't think it is, by the way. Like, I think that's absolutely my mistake. But yeah, cool. Okay. Is this a Netflix?
It is a Netflix, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so like kind of Netflix, kind of like Halloween-y kind of deal.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The story is spooky as fuck. If they can get the tone right, it's going to be good.
Nice. Trailer for Decision to Leave.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Plays LFF. Is just straight up getting a theatrical through movie like in October as well. Yeah, like it's just people are kind of going like, is this year's like Parasite get a nomination kind of jobby? And it's like, let's go. That would be cool.
It very much looks like this. Yep, it's a new Park Chan-wook film. Go on then.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy the fact that it looks all like Park Chan-wooky and thrillery and kind of a bit like, what the fuck's going on? And then one of the pull quotes is, the most romantic film of the year.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, oh, that's going to be a fucked up romance, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a new Park Chan-wook film.
Of course it would.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Of course it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, regardless, we'll be reviewing that in October, so that feels like it's not that far away.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Okay, I've got one more.
We have one more. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it I Want to Dance with Somebody?
I Want to Dance with Somebody, yeah.
Yeah, alright. I feel like if you wanted to do a good biopic of Whitney Houston's life, you're probably not going to be able to get the estate to sign off on licensing the music.
I get the feeling if you want, this looks like the most, when it comes up and says from the writer of Bohemian Rhapsody, they're going,
Nah, I'm alright then, cheers.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, this is an excuse to just sell a shitload of Whitney Houston records.
Yeah.
It is not anything to do with telling a Whitney Houston story.
Yeah, and it'll all be fucking bullshit.
Yeah. It'll just be lies.
Look, I mean, it's out on Boxing Day here. I feel like in a immediately post-Christmas, I'm hungover and bleary-eyed state, maybe it will work. That's all I've got. I think there's a massive reason why this is getting 0 awards buzz, despite it being a prestige biopic about a big musical artist.
Yeah, it's because it's probably going to be a bit pap. And that's the thing. It's like you say, when it comes up and says who it's written by, it just makes you go, alright, fair enough. And the poster and everything about it just screams
Cash in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be watching that one.
I'll watch
if they
it.
made a good biopic of Whitney Houston, and it wasn't by the people that wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, I'd be tempted because I
Just
think it could be really interesting.
If you're one of the stories, watch the documentary with me.
Yeah, I do want to watch that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like you need to do a Blonde. I mean, we haven't seen Blonde yet, obviously, but just like a decades later, just like fully unauthorized, like this is what she actually went through, kind of shit. I don't know. We'll see. Who's it directed by? Do we know?
It is Casey Lemons who did Black Nativity
Okay.
and Harriet. Remember that one for a couple of years?
Harriet. That's the one that.
Everyone was annoyed with Cynthia Erivo being in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't she get an Oscar nomination for that?
She did, yeah.
Yeah, I never caught up with Harriet. But yeah, okay, all right. Well, I mean, like it sounds like it sounds like a director who's got some pedigree behind them anyway. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so let's talk Clerks 3. Written and directed by Kevin Smith, starring Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Trevor Furman, and Rosario Dawson in a very misleading role. If you see some of the promotional images that there were for this film, so in what is maybe the year's best film opening, where they basically play the entirety of My Chemical Romance's Welcome to the Black Parade. They abridge it slightly at the end, but massive fucking respect for like doing all of that. It is established, so all spoilers all the time, because you know it is probably a bit of a surprise going in. The guys are still running the quick stop. However, Becky, Rosario Dawson's character, is deceased and has been for a number of years, and was killed in a drunk driving accident which also killed Dante and Becky's unborn child. So Dante and Randall are still working at the quick stop. Elias is still with them as well. When on one of his kind of like trademark rants, Randall, Jeff Anderson's character, has a heart attack and kind of basically realises that he's done nothing with his life and decides to make a movie about him and Dante and their lives, which looks an awful lot like Clerks. Clerks 3. Mark.
Yes.
Feel like we were pretty up for this,
yeah,
based on conversations last week.
Yeah.
How'd you take to it?
The opening does an awful lot to kind of make you go, all right, yeah, all right. I am in a comfortable. I'm slipping on a comfortable pair of pants here. This is going to be all right.
Fucking right. Fucking right.
And then, you know, opening with a good couple of Jeff Anderson rants, and fucking just introducing. I think they introduced the characters, Randall and Dante, very well. It's the thing is, I went in with medium expectations, but knowing that I was about to spend 2 hours with at least two characters from cinema that I really enjoy spending time with, and then I do think that during the film is always better when it is characters from Clerks or Rosario Dawson. Time has not been nice to Trevor Furman. It's not. So occasionally in our little group chat that we have, we will reference the fact that fucking hell, we'll put up someone will post a picture of somebody saying fucking hell, we've got a lot of work to do here based on our ages, and then the response always is to the but none of us look as shitty as Wayne Rooney and he's younger than all of us. I think we can now start trying to firm into that.
Oh, poor Elias.
He looks like he's had a healthy relationship with a local movies.
But I mean, like, has he been in any
person though, was he?
Elias?
Yeah.
No, he's not been in anything. No. But right, so I'll let everyone else speak for a little bit. Then I'll get the bits that I didn't like out of the way.
Well, no, go.
Okay. Oh, I was wondering what you were going for there. It was something you were really uncomfortable with saying.
I was just worried that he'd glitched.
All right. Well, yeah. Before we go a bit deeper, then, so Bex, obviously you weren't on the show last week, and I don't know how much we've talked about Clerks or Kevin Smith in general. So kind of before we talk about Clerks 3, what's your relationship with these films?
I've seen them and liked them a lot. Clerks more than Clerks 2. I've not seen them anywhere near as much as you guys probably have. Watching this, there's a lot of self-referential shit in there that I feel like I maybe didn't quite get because I haven't seen them enough for it to bed in. But I got enough of it to enjoy it, if that makes sense. It's very much a film made for massive fucking nerds.
Yeah.
Which I would class myself as a mid-range nerd when it comes to Clerks.
Yeah, whereas I think that there was a couple that were in the same screening as us that were exactly the same position as us.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that I had to get out and go, what the fuck is the relevance of 37? You had to explain it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were digging it, weren't they?
Yeah, but I think he was digging it again a lot more than she was.
Yeah, he shouted us, didn't he?
Okay.
Well, not shout, he shouted to us. Don't go!
So, yeah, at the end we went because I didn't think there was a post-credits. He went, no, go. There's something. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it.
Is there? Oh.
Yeah. I'll tell you about that afterwards. It's not a scene. It's not anything like that. It's what I'll tell you now. Basically...
I'll tell you later. Actually, I'll tell you now.
Yeah, I just realised I fucking wanted to say no.
You can take it off mic if you really want, Mark. I mean, if you feel this is privileged information.
Kevin Smith basically, towards the end, just says a little bit about his relationship with how he got the job at the Quick Stop, essentially.
What Kevin Smith does?
Yeah, just like a voiceover. He sort of says, "Hey, everybody," and
what?
basically then goes through the fact that he always he always kind of thought that the customers were the worst thing about working at a convenience store, and then realised that actually all the things, basically the majority of the things that happened in Clerks happened to somebody, was said by somebody, something like that, and that it was the interactions with the customers that gave him the ideas for a lot of his movies, and that really he should be thanking them. And basically saying, look, I got a lot of credit for Clerks, but it was the people. It was Jeff Anderson, Brian O'Halloran, and all these people were as much part of it as I was. And just a bit of a thank you to everybody for essentially being a fan of his movies over these years.
Yeah.
It was quite nice, wasn't it?
It was actually.
I wonder, in the US... the screenings of this are being organised by this company called Fathom Events, and it's more like an actual kind of an eventy kind of thing. And I wonder whether, as part of that, he did that for them, but then it's actually got a proper general theatrical release here, so they've just tacked that on here as well.
Yeah.
That feels very odd. It's just okay, we'll just have a bit of fucking director commentary at the end of the film. But, I mean, no, fair play. So, Clerks 3. I was in the fucking tank so hard in that like first 15-20 minutes. Like really, and you know, not just because of the My Chemical Romance, but like you said, Jeff Anderson. Like seriously, Welcome to the Black Parade is one of the greatest that got to number one in the UK charts, like things of all time. I can't believe that happened.
I love them using that for the opening as well. It was really well done.
It's great. As soon as that piano kicked in at the start, I was like, "Fuck, I'm in." And I was really, really in the mood for this as well, because I rewatched Clerks, watched Clerks 2, which Clerks 2 has not aged very well. I think I said that last week, that watching the rest of the film kind of like proved that as well. But I think the Donkey Show bit's really fucking funny. So a lot of people don't seem to, but there you go, sue me. But yeah, Clerks 3, really, really in. And even, like, in the hospital, when he's doing all the fucking Mandalorian jokes with Amy Sedaris, who is in The Mandalorian. Like, so even more meta. Like, I was like, okay, like, I'm still good with this, because it's Randall. And the whole, like, Randall making a film thing, I thought was cracking. The minute Brian O'Halloran does a Nicolas Cage in The Wicker Man falling asleep on that like dock, where Brian O'Halloran just appears to fall asleep at her grave, and then Rosario Dawson comes up, and then they have that thing about her having sex with famous people in heaven. I'm just like, no, absolutely not. And then that, but in the same scene, Brian O'Halloran like crying and like doing these faces that just, I felt so fucking bad for him that he was being asked by Kevin Smith to do this stuff. The writing, great. Well, no, it's not great. It's fine. O'Halloran just isn't skilled enough an actor to be able to deal with this stuff on a big screen. With that,
I don't know.
kind of
sold that quite well.
I thought he was fucking terrible when he had to do the emotional stuff. I will say his monologue at Randall before he has the heart attack, you know, fair enough. He was invested. He's giving it a go. That's the thing. And I feel bad saying that I thought he was bad, but it felt like he was being given a really, really, really difficult challenge by Kevin Smith.
I think with that one, I think it's because Rosario Dawson is a full-blown professional actress. Whereas Brian O'Halloran, he no matter what, and he has made other bits, but he is still Kevin Smith's mate that is in films.
I don't know, it felt... what I quite liked about his reaction was it felt quite raw. He looked and he sounded like a real person being upset rather than an actor being upset. So it just felt a bit more kind of visceral from that point of view. Real people don't pretty cry. No. They fucking ugly cry, and they pull stupid faces when they're really upset. They just do. And I think that it really, like, it broke my fucking heart when he was getting upset there. But yeah, it's different strokes.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting perspective. And if I ever rewatch Clerks 3, I think I'll remember that. But it just, if you, I was reiterating the plot of this film to Donna the morning after, and she was like, "No, that's not the plot. Like, what happens at the end? Like, you're joking, aren't you?" And I was like, no, that is what happens. Like, one of the guys who is just having this kind of, like, fucking about, like, conversational stuff, like, having two films where he's basically torn between two women, and in this one, he's fucking miserable, is trying to help his friend, but is miserable, and then watches Clerks in a dream cinema with Rosario Dawson, and then chooses to just fucking die. Like, she was just like, no, that's not the plot. fair play, you would never ever guess the ending of Clerks 3
No.
going into Clerks 3.
No, when it comes out, that when you realise,
He's watching his life flash before his eyes. What the fuck?
fuck,
Yeah.
is he about to kill off Dante? I was a bit like, I don't know whether I'm ready for this.
No. I did not expect to cry at Clerks 3.
I did not expect to be a little bit like, no, Kevin, you can't have it like that. Because the thing is with Clerks 3 is there is some of the comedy works, some of it doesn't.
What, like the constant fucking goth costume changes?
Yeah, those bits don't work. The Elias and your daughter's
Blockchain Coltrane.
Your creepy weird boyfriend.
I enjoyed Blockchain Coltrane.
Don't work. But beyond that, the character's not funny in any way.
No.
I don't know. I did like when Elias walked in looking like Sean Young from Blade Runner, and I think it was Randall was like, Blade Runner, nice, and like Elias is just like, what?
Yeah.
Like I did.
Oh, no, he's
I did quite enjoy that.
He's Pris, yeah.
Yeah.
Pris, sorry, not Sean Young, fucking Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. There's little bits there, but just the, I don't know. They're the bits I didn't like. The constant of those bits. I would have liked it to have been a little bit just more fucking Randall and Dante arguing.
I think it's the bits that were more like Clerks were the bits that worked. The bits that were more like Clerks 2 were the bits that didn't.
And I'm a Clerks 2 apologist.
Yeah, but it's crass and it's stupid, whereas Clerks isn't. Clerks is quite clever and it's quite down to earth. Clerks 2 is a bit more...
Yeah.
The fucking donkey show thing, I hate that in Clerks 2.
Exactly. The thing is, there's solid bits that just have me just laughing an awful lot. So the fact that the description of Dan T is the hideous chud of a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a hideous chud beard.
It just had me just laughing at just probably more than I should have laughed at it. But we were saying this afterwards, weren't we, Bex? The thing is, Clerks 3 is absolutely, it's a fan service of a movie, and it should be a fan service of a movie. So, for instance, fucking The Last Jedi should not be a fan service of a movie, right? That shouldn't exist. You shouldn't make $200 million pure fan service movies that are there.
It also shouldn't have people being put on hold in space, but that's fine.
Yeah, because
carry on.
Space travel, yes, they could have invented that, but hold, no. But with Clerks 3, yes, the whole fucking thing should be fan service.
Yeah, and it is.
It is. And that's what makes sense. So the constant nodding back to things makes sense. And then
it's
the roll around that the Clerks, the movie, is the movie that he makes. It's so obvious, it's staring you in the face throughout the entire thing. And then when it actually comes to it, you go, of fucking course.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the fact that it really fucking wrong-footed me. And like, but I don't know. I just had quite a visceral, just like, no, you can't be a Clerks film and then kill off one of them at the end and then just have like Randall look and the ghost of Dante looking at Elias and Blockchain and Jay and Silent Bob fucking about.
Well,
I feel like that. Sorry, just to say, I think the ending does Randall dirty, and I think that's actually what bothers me about it. Sorry.
Well, Kevin Smith does say in that little bit, doesn't he, that the original ending had a card that came up at the end that was on during that shot. I don't know why I took this out actually. That basically said that Randall continued to make movies until he died in his 90s while still working at the Quick Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
It
I mean,
does feel a little
fair.
bit. You do look at it and go, "Oh, so where does Randall go from now?"
Yeah. And I just like the Randall at the grave, and then what did he say? It's just like, I'm just going to say something that my friend used to say. You're not even supposed to be here today.
Oh God, that broke.
Look. Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's Jeff Anderson plays it really well. I think Jeff Anderson's really good in this. I think he drops into the Randall role like a fucking glove. And I just felt. If Kevin Smith was just like trying to be like sometimes life is just this way, then fair enough. But it was so fucking weird that it was Dante watching his life flash before his eyes, like you guys said, in a dream cinema, and then just goes, "Nah, I'm alright. I trust the director. I'm happy to, because Rosario Dawson's like, go and live your life, and he's like, no, I'm alright, thanks." It's just such a odd way of ending things. I viscerally was just like, no, I do not. I refuse to accept your ending, Kevin Smith. And I mean, like, maybe that's my problem.
It's
but
that thing
it just
of it closes the Clerks book. Now that's it,
and in the most like fucking depressing way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like in a way it's meant to be like he's been miserable and his life's been empty since they've died, and he's plodded along. And he and Randall have both prodded along, and they've not really had anything. And now Randall has something else. He feels like he can let go.
It's just such a fucking sad character arc.
Yeah.
For Dante from Clerks.
From Clerks 2. He
And
ends Clerks 2 happy, and then it's you look at it and go, "Geez, Randall hasn't moved on from it." From any of it.
Yeah.
He's the same as he was in Clerks, and he's kind of. It's not that he's even all right with that. He's almost like weirdly content with that. It's only when he has to look at his existence to realise that he's never done any of the things that he probably should have done. But he's actually, from a day to day, he's kind of all right.
Yeah.
That he's there. Whereas you look at it and go, right, well, literally, because Becky is pregnant at the end of Clerks 2. So you're talking about literally the past 15 years, he's just been fucking just going through some shit. Probably being alright day to day. But deep down, he's been just
really fucking sad.
Yeah. It's an odd one to give it. It seems a little bit like Kevin Smith is wanting to get some shit off his chest a little bit. Obviously the heart attack stuff and the Widowmaker thing, it's all from Smith's life. So, I mean, I get it, but these films, the central relationship of the films are Dante and Randall. And I absolutely fair play. There's like room for growth and things like that. But at the end of Clerks 2, in the jail scene, Randall says to Dante, like, "Don't leave me, man. I don't want you to go to Florida. Don't leave me." And the end here, that end sequence in the jail sequence, I think is fantastic in Clerks 2.
Yeah, it's a great scene. It's a great scene, and like I don't notice Brian O'Halloran being bad in that, but like here, it doesn't compute, and I'm not trying to say, well, it surprised me, I didn't like the ending, so fuck this movie or anything like that, because I liked the film, but like I say, I think it does Randall dirty, and oh fuck, I had another point that I wanted to make, and it's evaporating, but it just, if Smith now, like, in 5 years' time does a Clerks 4 and it's Randall and Elias, I'm just absolutely not. No.
It's already put out there very much that this is it for the future Clerks things. They might do something in terms of the animated bits again, but there'll be no
more Clerks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I was really like. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Sorry. If you were going to be Dante is just going to be like is sad about Becky and then ends up like basically choosing to die. Do not also have Veronica from the first one come along and then him shag her.
Yeah.
Like no.
Yeah,
no.
That was a little bit. That felt a little bit shoehorned in.
That's the thing. It's like it's so weird that they just have that one scene, and then the only other bit you see of her is when they're recreating the bit under the desk. I don't get that. The Jennifer Schwelbuck bits, like just asking her for money, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then how that resolves itself is just why is this here?
Yeah.
There's too much stuff that doesn't hit the mark in terms of comedy, and then it's got often in the same scene. I mean, again, like Dante has that heart attack that ends up killing him, and that particular scene ends with that woman clapping and going like, "That was incredible acting." You know, it don't undermine this scene, which is going to have an incredible emotional weight with a gag.
Yeah, I think Kevin Smith a little bit as he's got older has wanted to be more mature with his writing at points, but also I don't think he's either got the control or the confidence to then not throw a gag at it. And
the fucking guy wrote Chasing Amy. Yeah. And obviously that was like 25 years ago, but yeah, he can control tone. And like here, it's fan service, but it's also, and I'm going to make you cry, fucker. And it's just it doesn't work for me. It's like, what's going to fucking happen in Mallrats 2? Is it going to turn out that Brody's a paedophile or something? I don't know. You know, like it just. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no. I just fundamentally disagree with the construction of this film, but I like the film.
That's it. I was pleased it was as good as it was, because I thought there was a chance it could be really not very good. And Jane Silent Bob reboot was good as well.
Yeah, and that monologue that Ben Affleck has in that is fantastic.
Yeah,
really, really hits the mark.
So I'm you know what? I'm hoping this isn't the end of the viewer universe stuff. I'm hoping there's something else to come out of it. It's just what might that be?
No, I mean, like I was listening to an interview with Kevin Smith on a podcast last week, and he was saying that like he's more than happy to just make these films and then kind of like roadshow them in the US and do Q&As and things like that, and just make films for fans. Like his next project is a sequel to Tusk.
Is it?
You know, and it's, you know, fuck. I mean, I absolutely respect Kevin Smith doing what he wants and whatnot, but it doesn't mean that I also have to think that his films are entirely successful. And this isn't. But I will say, Jay and Silent Bob dealing in front of the store like they don't actually own the store was very, very funny. I really enjoyed that stuff. Like that was great.
The bit where they mentioned about the video store. It's like, what? It closed down like a decade ago. Where do you think you are? And they look around like, oh shit.
That whole kind of like the owing late fees on dental school, and the fact that they watched it. It's like, when you said you didn't have a video player, and it was like, well, you dummy, we held the tape up to the light and watched it. I mean,
the thing is, it's possibly the funniest the most restrainedly funny they have been ever in a film. They were kind of there as almost like the straight guys in a weird way.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, absolutely. And it's I think it's a bizarre film.
Yeah, I think it's good because of your relationship with the two central characters. Beyond that, I think it's messy.
Yeah.
But I have a really good relationship with two central characters, so it's definitely not shit.
Yeah, it's definitely not shit. That's But just parts of it make me annoyed thinking about it. So yeah, there you go. I wouldn't be surprised if it pops up on my disappointments. I'll say that. But yeah, we'll see. Bex, how about you? Where are you at with it?
Yeah, definitely not shit for me. I'm excited for it to come out on something so I can back to back them.
It's such a heavy fucking end though. But yeah, fair play.
Our audience poll was 63% definitely not shit, 25% touching cloth, and 13% shit.
It kind of all over the place. I see it.
What I will say is my last thing on Clerks, which is kind of on Clerks, but not really actually on Clerks. But so I've decided, partially inspired by events that happened when we were in Manchester, South Stockport recently, not Southport, that's near Liverpool, recently, is that on my right arm, which is my bitty arm, isn't it?
Bitty arm.
For my tattoos, that I decided I'm going to get movie quotes to fill in all the bits, right? But I don't want to get inspirational movie quotes to fill in all the bits. Anything like that. I want to get kind of daft ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that...
Please don't get Snoochie Boochies.
No, but I think Hideous Chud of a Man. I think might have made it onto the list.
Please don't get that.
So that will appear somewhere.
Wow.
On my arm.
Pretty good.
Yeah. What then?
I don't know that I like that.
What? I just want daft quotes from movies that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fair.
What about Go Fuck Yourself, San Diego?
It could be up there on the list. You know, I've got things like, I've got to have, it's like some kind of hot tub time machine. It's going to be on there somewhere.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever?
Putting 4 or 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, The Dark Knight has got like all the orphans, and like, oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
CS3P Combat. Player 1, choose your character.
Tired of film and television podcasts where the hosts exist in a blissful state of agreement?
Stronger. Player 2, choose your character.
Well, you're in luck.
Punter. Round 1, fight!
Allow me to introduce you to the Chinstroker vs Punter podcast, featuring 2 film and television fans from Birmingham, England, who enjoy their media in very different ways.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the plot of Blue Velvet.
The plot. I mean, the main characters are 2 of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
So join us as we catch up on what we've been watching from our own very different perspectives.
Double KO. Round 2, fight!
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be found.
Just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just in English. That's the third time, though. I mean, is this on?
Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's do a bit of what we've been watching.
Not a lot from me, because of when we last recorded. Don't do your solo ones, the ones we missed from you last week, Max.
I haven't watched anything on my own.
Last week, though?
I'll weigh in on... What were the main reviews last week?
One that you watched was See How They Run, but you also watched that as well.
Yeah, so See How They Run. God, it feels like ages ago, that. I really enjoyed See How They Run. I thought it was really good fun. It's been a bit of a revelatory few weeks for me for actors and actresses that I don't like. I thought Saoirse Ronan was really good in it. So, yeah, and I thought it was trying to be sort of a clever murder mystery, and it does it for the most part. For the most part, it feels like it's going for a kind of Knives Out vibe, where it's a murder mystery and it takes the story seriously, but it's also got the comedic side as well, but in flourishes rather than being an all-out comedy. The one bit that I really hated was the bit at Agatha Christie's house, where it went really fucking stupid for about 5-10 minutes. Didn't really enjoy that. I thought it felt really tonally off in comparison to the rest of the film. But overall, really liked it. Didn't need the bit about her basically getting him arrested.
Nope, not in the slightest.
But I think for the most part, I thought it was pretty well done. It would have been definitely not shit if I'd been on.
Yeah, fair. I think that kind of basically chimes with our reaction.
Yeah, very similar, I think, yeah.
Also rounded out the Marvel rewatch with... Did I speak about Captain Marvel on the previous one?
I don't think you had. I think you just started watching it.
Okay.
Time. How did that hold up? Because Brie Larson said some things recently, hasn't she?
Oh, she's been flopping her mouth.
The whole, like, does anybody want me back thing.
That's the when you know when she comes back and she well, does anyone even want me back?
No, Brie.
And it's a bit like... I don't know, but you don't do yourself many favours, Brie.
I swear, she's angling to get out.
She is. She don't want anything to do with it anymore.
What I will say is Captain Marvel was better on rewatch than I remembered it being. But I remembered it being really, really shit. So it's still not a great movie, but it's better than I remembered.
I'm quite enjoying it.
Her character is... They've just really amped up the arrogance on her character in Endgame, which obviously we watched together, didn't we? Because you watched that with me.
Yes.
So just as a continuation of the Captain Marvel character, yeah, they make her really fucking unlikable in Endgame. Something that we've mentioned like a few times is obviously that hideously painful to watch fucking He's Not Alone fucking scene with all the women characters behind Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, it's behind. Yeah, maybe,
yeah. That on rewatch of Endgame just felt really like, it made me feel a little bit like I was going to be sick in my mouth. These women are badasses throughout the entirety of the Marvel movies. They don't need that pandering fucking scene. It feels like by doing that, it's kind of like the filmmakers saying, oh, but did you know women can be badasses too? So it kind of undoes a lot of the good work that they've done previously. It's like they're saying, yeah, but we don't really think that they're badass characters, so we have to really make a point of it with this one scene. And it's like, oh, well, we kind of thought you thought they were badasses anyway because you let them be in all these other movies. The more I watch Endgame, the more that scene annoys me.
that kind of reminds me of the whole Rise of Skywalker. They were like, we're doing a big like LGBTQ thing. We support blah, blah. It's like it was a kiss.
Yeah, you go, oh, which character's gay? Oh, wait a minute. It's literally two characters, like almost like peripherals.
It just heavy. I mean, virtue signalling is such a fucking poisoned term.
Yeah.
But corporate virtue signalling. That it just have those women be more involved in the action generally.
But they are.
I think he's meaning the
what?
Skywalker ones, is he? Are you referring to the Marvel ones?
No. I mean the Endgame one, just in terms of like.
Well, they fucking are.
You
They're front and centre in a lot of the fucking battles.
Yeah.
They just.
What
are.
in Endgame? Okay,
No,
all right.
in
I
general. In all the movies,
I don't remember it well enough.
Like the women are not side characters. Like what's her name? Is it Okoye? Is the lead fucking warrior for Black Panther?
Yep.
Nat.
Fair enough.
Is a badass.
Yeah.
I know she's. Is she dead by this?
She's dead by
Yeah, she's dead by this point. But like, she's a real fucking badass. Pepper Potts, you know, she's not really a fighty badass, but she's a badass in that she stands up to Tony all the time. These are strong women characters already. They don't need that scene.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm saying that coming from the perspective of a woman.
It just felt really cheap.
It does.
And then I tried to watch. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to give the TV stuff a chance. I'm going to give Phase 4 a chance. And I watched an episode and a half of WandaVision and just thought, nah, I can't be fucking bothered with this.
You've already watched WandaVision,
Of which one, sorry?
WandaVision.
Right.
And I've watched it before on a first watch. Really enjoyed it. But going back to rewatch it, it doesn't really have rewatch value for me.
Interesting.
I tell you what, I don't watch all. I haven't glommed onto all the MCU shows, but we watched episode 5 of She-Hulk today. She-Hulk good.
I don't know whether I want
She-Hulk
to watch
good.
a film that's got fucking Megan the Stallion and She-Hulk twerking at the end of one of the episodes. That's just ruined it for me. I was kind of on board with giving that a go.
There's fuck all action in it. It's closer to just like a workplace comedy. I really enjoy She-Hulk. My one problem with I know it's TV, but just to say, my one problem with She-Hulk is that there is a theme running through it about how men find She-Hulk attractive, but Tatiana Maslany appears to be just like the most ugly bitch in the world to men. Like, is what the world is trying. It is what the show is trying to say. She's not. She's a good-looking woman. It's weird that it's going very heavily. Like, there's a bit where a guy shags her as She-Hulk, but then the morning after she's her normal self, and he's like, "I've got to go. See you later." And it's just a bit why. Anyway.
Is it one of those things like when in teen movies they try and make out that a girl's really ugly because she's wearing glasses and a ponytail, and then all of a sudden she gets a makeover? Is it one of those ones where they try to pretend that Tatiana Maslany's not hot?
Well, yeah, I mean, like they take the piss out of her dress sense and things like that, but it's just like, but you look at her, she's a good-looking woman. I'm not going to say she's like stunning, like a stunningly good-looking woman, but she's a good-looking woman who it feels weird that men would go, no, thank you, but She-Hulk, me like it. It's weird.
Oh, hang on a second. I also watched Spider-Man.
Which one?
The middle one. With Gyllenhaal.
Of which ones?
Is it Far From Home?
I don't know. The Spider-Man names confuse me.
The one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
Watch that. I forgot to log it, and it's not on Disney Plus, so it just completely slipped my memory. It's all right. It's the end of Phase 3, so it's still got that Phase 3 magic on it.
Fair play.
Yep.
The only other thing that I watched that weren't the movie review ones that were doing the main review ones was Fletch. I rewatched Fletch.
Of course you did.
Fletch is fucking great.
Yeah.
I will keep saying it every time I watch it, at least once a year, until the day we die doing this podcast, and say, Fletch is fucking great, I love Fletch.
I will have a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich.
Yeah. I love it you've done this place, you must spend hundreds.
That's good.
Do you have rubber gloves? I rent. It's fuck it. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's Chevy Chase in absolute, just wonderful form.
Yeah. He was trending the other day on
Yeah.
Twitter and I was worried that he died.
No.
He hadn't.
No.
He hasn't, has he?
No. No, I'd be more upset.
You'd be
fair.
definitely having a minute's silence at 8 PM, wouldn't you?
Fucking hell, would.
What am I going to be talking about at 8 o'clock that's not a minute's silence, but is like just incredibly disrespectful?
Respect's earned.
Let's fight.
Respect is earned.
True. Was that you, Mark?
That's me, yeah.
Right. So, and that was you, Becky.
Yep, I'm done.
Cool. Okay, so I got a couple. So yeah, I mean, like I said, watching Clerks 3, I finished rewatching Clerks 2. That was halfway through when we recorded last time round. I like Clerks 2. I like the ABC sequence. That's cool. Just like have a random dance sequence in there halfway through, because why not? I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like the donkey show. I like that it's immediately followed by the jail scene, which is a fantastic bit of writing. And it ends in a really good place. So, Clerks 2. Bit too much gay, faggot kind of stuff in there.
That's not really in the first one.
No, it's not. That's the thing. The first one doesn't feel like it's going there. Yeah. I mean, I think I said last week, but it's like the "you know how I know you're gay" thing from 40-Year-Old Virgin. So it's yeah. But yeah, I like Clerks 2. I think it's fine. I think it's better than fine. I think Clerks 3 is fine. I think Clerks 2 is better than fine. But yeah, even though after that review and Bex, after your kind of like defense of what Brian O'Halloran was going for, I do wonder if I might change my mind if I watch it again. But we'll see. So I watched a couple of things. I watched the new Bowie documentary, Moon Age Daydream, playing in IMAX this weekend, and then comes out more generally next weekend. So this is documentary filmmaker Brett Morgan doing a fully okayed by the Bowie estate. I mean, I'd call it more kind of like, I don't know, fucking collage than documentary. Which, if it sets off warning bells for you, maybe yeah, fair enough. So it's 2.25 hours long. I got multiple "you are in a loud environment" notifications on my Apple Watch, which I've never had in the cinema before. It was like really, really, really loud. Apparently, like Brett Morgan tweeted earlier on today, he was like talking about how it was a 12-channel sound mix for IMAX, and it's like, yeah, sure, I could go with that. Yeah, it's kind of roughly chronologically in terms of the songs it's focusing on and the stories it's telling, but then it kind of breaks away to talk about Bowie's approach to art generally, kind of like during the Spiders from Mars sequence, but is referencing stuff more from like the 90s. basically doesn't talk about the noughties or the 2010s at all. I'd say like the first hour and 45 minutes is focused on everything up to like the Let's Dance era, and then him going, I thought I wanted to make music that was going to make people dance and make other people happy, and then I realised actually why I should just concentrate on me being me. And then, funnily enough, the last 20-25 minutes is, okay, and here's the stuff where it's him being him, but hey, you don't know that music very well, so we're not going to focus on it.
I mean, he barely released anything post 2000 anyway. Just like Heathen, Reality, I think were the only ones to release between like 2000 and 2013. Yeah,
it's interesting because it's like voiceover of him making a point of like, I realise that I'm kind of stagnating and I'm not doing anything for me, and it's all for audiences to make them happy, and I'm not feeling fulfilled. And but then the doc is like, and we're gonna kind of ignore the music that he made after that because none of you fuckers know it anyway, or like really like it wasn't really a thing, and the thing is, it's interesting because obviously it's been made for IMAX. It takes up the whole IMAX frame, and it's overwhelming, and it's impressive, but there's so much going on visually because it's essentially oh God, what was it Brett Morgan said, which I thought was a bit wanky? It was like, I didn't call it like David Bowie because it's my interpretation on what it was like growing up with Bowie, so I'm calling it Moon Age Daydream as it's my look at his life, or I'm paraphrasing, but and so there's just a lot of visual stimuli. There are clips from Event Horizon in this film.
That's somewhere.
And there's just a couple of things, and you know, I think Sean Andalou gets a bit at one point in the realm of the senses. Does apparently I missed that, but like George Méliès and but then like the crowd footage and things like that, doing mad things with the colours there. And I found it hard to keep up, and I enjoyed it more when it just fucking slowed down and it let Bowie talk in his own words, which then takes away from the immersive IMAX aspect of it. But it's a lot. Is Moon Age Daydream, and it's been getting an awful lot of like 5-star reviews and things like that. And speaking as someone who's I like David Bowie. My mum knew David Bowie. And has told me a couple of stories. So I've got some sort of like, it's the one kind of musical artist that I ever really properly talked to my mum about. So I've got some personal kind of affinity for Bowie. But I'm not a mega fan. I think anyone who isn't that bothered about David Bowie, I mean, it's almost obvious, but you do not need to watch Moon Age Daydream. It's not going to give... I don't think it's necessarily going to give you a new appreciation of David Bowie if you already don't like his music. There's a lot of the points he's making, I don't know, it just feels quite... At the start, he's like, I like playing different characters and I never really show the real me. And then in the early 80s, he's like, I just want to make music that makes people happy. And then after that, it's actually, no, I just want to do music for me. And there's this general thesis through the film of like how he lived life every day and he enjoyed life and he just made the fullest of life. And it's like, yeah, cool. It's very easy to do that when you're David Bowie, though. If you didn't make the fullest of life, then you wouldn't... I don't know, we wouldn't be watching this. I I don't know. It was just it was an odd thesis to spend 2.25 hours building to. So yeah, I think I respect it more than I like it. I like it well enough. And the concert footage in that like 12-channel surround fucking rules. And also, there's an awful lot of stuff that in this shot on film, not a lot shot on video, and the stuff that's shot on film, because it's shot on film, blown up to IMAX, looks fucking amazing. Oh, no. You've got like shots of stuff from like the 70s, which just look so clear and so vivid, and they're wonderful. And then later on in like the 80s and 90s and whatnot, you've got more like just taken from video stuff, and that looks like shit. But it is what it is. So yeah, Moon Age Daydream, if you're at all into the idea of it, you will get something from it. But I do think maybe some of the 5 out of 5 reviews are coming from a place of, I like really, 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 really like David Bowie already, and I was kind of maybe always going to give this 5 stars.
Yeah. Going
so,
for the canon,
yeah.
It's I get what you mean.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, certainly I'll recommend it. It's a fucking intense watch. Just be ready for that. Yeah. Okay, and I also did a rewatch of Birdman.
All right.
So we've been talking about Bardo a little bit lately, and I was like, I'm in the mood for some Inarritu, and I have Birdman on iTunes. Birdman fucking rules. I really, 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 really like Birdman. It is a technical exercise which is insane. Like the whole kind of like, it looks like a one shot, but then it does transitions to different periods in time within like the same shot kind of stuff. But also some really technically complex shots. Michael Keaton giving a performance which lost the Oscar to Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything, which is insane.
Yeah.
He's incredible in this. Ed Norton is really, really fun as well. Like he's playing a dickhead, but he's a dickhead who knows he's a dickhead, and kind of has fun with it. It's just like it's just fun actors and scenes all over the place in it. And the thing is, it is like being a bit. There's a scene with a critic and he's chewing a critic out, and I think a lot of people kind of like got turned off by it at that point, but it was also, you know, there's some points here. But it's just fun. I find Birdman really fun. It's obviously trying to say something about the state of pop culture and how superhero films are dominating things. Watching it now, it's just like, yeah, Inarritu was obviously on to something, and it's even just more so now. But it's all, I just find it a very, very, very entertaining film. It's a really fun couple of hours. And yeah, you can't say that about a lot of the work of Alejandro Inarritu.
Yeah, I think I've been looking at giving this a rewatch for a while. I think you would say about the other day, weren't you, Bex?
Yeah, I'd like to rewatch it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna do The Revenant again before I see Bardo. I've got a feeling I'm gonna like Bardo.
I'm thinking more and more I hear about it, the more and more I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we shall see. Okay, so let's move on and talk about Confess, Fletch, which stars people, but which people? Jon Hamm, Marcia Gay Harden, Carl McLaughlin, Lorenza Izzo, and John Slattery. So, yeah, I'm going to let Letterboxd do this one. The roguishly charming and endlessly troublesome Fletch becomes the prime suspect in a murder case while searching for a stolen art collection. The only way to prove his innocence? Find out which of the long list of suspects is the culprit, from the eccentric art dealer and a missing playboy to a crazy neighbour and Fletch's Italian girlfriend. So, we talked about the trailer a few weeks back. Terrible trailer. But what do we think of the film itself? Bex, your thoughts on Confess Fletch?
See, I was quite excited for this because I have a weird relationship with Fletch, and I think it comes from Mark's obsession with it. I really enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it as much as Mark does, which I don't think anyone in the whole wide world does. But it's irritating when it's always like every few weeks he suggests it, even if we've watched it the last time he suggested it. So, yeah, I have a bit of an odd relationship with Fletch. But then, I must have not been here when you talked about the Confess Fletch trailer. Did you not like it?
I did.
Oh. Did you not like it? I thought it was a really fucking good trailer.
The trailer? I thought it was a terrible trailer.
Oh, I really liked it. And yeah, and I like Jon Hamm, so I was pretty excited for this, to be honest. And then hamming it up with a very passable Chevy Chase impression, which I don't know whether that was necessary. But you said the writing is very.
He's very much playing the character Fletch, which comes across
Chasey.
Yeah, Chasey.
Or is it just one of those kind of with Chevy Chase, the casting and the character just went hand in hand? It was just a match made in heaven. So anyone that comes after it is going to look like they're doing an impression of his performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought Jon Hamm was really fucking good in it. He's got the right level of like roguish charm for it. You know, like you'd never be able to kind of entirely trust his motivations, but you'd be along for the ride, kind of thing. I really, really fucking enjoyed this. It was a perfect Sunday morning watch, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nice. Mark, thoughts?
Well, yeah, I was kind of worried, but about it that it just wasn't going to be. I didn't want it to just not be very good because it's a character that I really enjoy. But I also went into it knowing that it wasn't going to be as good as Fletch, and was fine with that because
the story's not as well put together, is it?
No, it's not. But I just going right. All I want is 7 out of 10. I want to be entertained, and I don't want it to finish and go, oh, that was a bit of a disappointment. And it's not. It's fun. You
quite liked the fiery Italian girl, didn't you?
I like the fiery Italian girl. Yes. It's in a callback to a different Chevy Chase movie. I think I turned around to you at one point and went. I was told there would be no hot European ladies in this. So is Jon Hamm as good? The thing about Jon Hamm is, I don't think Jon Hamm is as good as comedy as Jon Hamm would like to be at comedy. I think if you said to Jon Hamm, what kind of actor are you? I think he'd classify himself as a comedic actor. I just don't think he is, but he can be funny.
I think his timing and his delivery and stuff in this is really good.
That's what I mean. He can be funny, but he's not Chevy Chase levels of funny. Chevy Chase can speed round jokes at you with Fletch. And as well, the thing about Chevy Chase is that he doesn't tend to get as much credit for is as a physical comedian.
Yeah, I was going to
say.
He
is incredible. You know, Chevy Chase is almost like silent film era levels of being able to just fucking crack a joke by having just a physicality to him.
But it's just shit he'll do in the background of scenes as well, like, for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't advance the story in any way, shape or form, but he'll just be doing stupid shit.
Yeah, he'll have a stethoscope around him that he can't quite work out how to fucking use, and he'll pick stuff up and give them to people for no fucking reason. And there's bits like that. Hamm doesn't have that.
No.
He has to get away with the look, I'm roguishly handsome.
I did enjoy the bit where he was walking into whatever building it was and he just slid down the banister rail, though. That was good.
Yeah, but stuff like that are quite Fletchy things.
Yeah.
And it just, he makes sense as this iteration of Fletch. But then the story's not as good, and everybody seems like they're having a good time making this movie.
I thought Marsha Gay Harden was really good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like she's just having a laugh. And constantly just saying that she's not going to sleep with him. Whilst you also know that she kind of does want to sleep with him. Yeah. But in terms of like the story, you know straight away that Lorenza is in on it. Pretty much from the beginning. McLaughlin is playing it very well and very much like, again, he's just having a good time. Thought Roy Wood Jr. was a lot of fun in it.
Which one's he?
Is he the cop?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like his stand-up stuff as well, so I knew I was in good hands there.
I liked Grizz as well, though. I thought her just fuck off kind of attitude was great.
Yeah.
Just fuck off, Fletch.
Yeah, she played a good sidekick that actually was doing a lot of like the heavy lifting. Yeah. A little bit like the fucking dog in Inspector Gadget.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What did you reckon?
Yeah. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised by this. I think it's the most straight down the line 7 out of 10 that I can think of.
Yeah.
Where, it's not doing anything particularly impressive, but, and I do wonder, like, Kevin Smith wanted to make a Fletch film with Jason Lee years ago, and it's like, that could have fucking worked.
Yeah.
But
I don't know whether I'd want
I think Jon Hamm...
Fletch. I don't know whether he'd...
But Jason Lee as Fletch would have been...
But not Kevin Smith.
Over the years, there have been 3 people rumoured who have been attached to a Fletch remake or reboot.
Reading on the trivia, Joshua Jackson was one of them, wasn't he?
In his fever dreams, maybe. Yeah. He wouldn't work as it. The ones who
Ryan Reynolds.
It was Ryan Reynolds was the other guy who was attached.
Yeah, of course
to
it was.
do it, and that the Ryan Reynolds one almost makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It would be too on the nose, and he would just be doing. And this is from somebody who's a huge Ryan Reynolds fan. He would be doing his version of Chevy Chase doing Fletch, whereas I think Jon Hamm is doing Jon Hamm's version of Fletch.
Yeah, and I that's the thing. I respect that very much. I mean, and that's what you kind of... That's what I had to reconfigure in my mind. For like the first 15-20 minutes, I was just like, yeah, this isn't working. And then it clicked for me. But he is just kind of doing his own thing. And then as soon as I vibed with that, it worked. Like you said, Mark, I don't think Jon Hamm is as funny as Jon Hamm thinks he is. Like Film Junk do in their Junkie Awards every year. They do I think they call it Desperate Comedian Award for like the actor who most wants us to think they're funny in that particular year. And I swear Jon Hamm's been nominated every fucking year. And it's I get that, but actually, fair play, he is pretty funny in this.
I don't think it's that he thinks he's funny. I think he just really wants to be funny. He's just not.
Or wants to be funny. Yeah.
As he would like to be. It's that, I think.
But I think he's getting there though. Like there are good lines in this, and the like the whole just trying to actually solve it with the the cops, and like how he genuinely wants to solve it with them, and then they just keep on like telling him to fuck off, and then he's just having to do it himself. Like I think that there's a good line in that, and there's, I mean, the I think the mystery, I'll be honest, I got a bit lost. Like at the end when there was just like paintings all over the fucking place, I was like, right, why are there so many paintings? I've lost track now. But I don't care, because that's not the point of this film. The point of this film is just to be a actually quite stylish, breezy comedy, and it succeeds.
Yeah, and I think part of what makes this film work is the fact that it's not done by a generic jobbing director. It's done by Greg Mottola, who is who has made very, very good films, and so I think that you can tell that it's not just somebody who is hoping that this will be a springboard into better things. It's a director who knows comedy and knows how to go, right, I need to do a 100-minute fucking comedy. This is what I've got to work with. Bang, 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 bang. There we fucking go.
I've got to say as well, this film very badly made me want to drive a little moped with a little helmet around Rome.
Yeah, yeah. There's a great moment, I think, where he's riding the, what is it, and another motorbike, another, like, what is it, just goes by him, and he just kind of looks at it, and then just carries on with his day. But even to things like that, like the fact that Mottola's put, like, there's an idea towards the text that comes up. It's not just Rome.
Yep.
That's the sort of thing we're directing. It's a director who definitely gives a shit with this.
Yeah.
And wanted to make a fun Fletch movie. And it works. And the thing is, you could see Showtime and Paramount going, do you know what? These don't cost a lot to fucking do. We could maybe get away with doing another one. Why not?
I'd watch the fuck out another one of these.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other books that haven't been done. And the fact that they chose Confess Fletch, which is the one in between, I think. 'Cause I think that the Fletch sequel is kind of based a little bit around Fletch, the Fletch's Fortune, which is the third book, I believe. But yeah, it's... They're definitely hinting towards the end at going, we've got another one.
Yeah, when John Slattery calls it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even the interactions he has with John Slattery are quite good.
I'm just trying to think of some of the lines now, but I mean, it's just, I watched it yesterday morning, like in bed, and just laughed quite a bit.
It's a really good, like, we watched it this morning. It's a really fun morning watch.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Easily breezy enough that it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, definitely not shit. I think it's going to turn up in my surprises, because honestly, I thought the trailer was dog shit. So yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I am definitely not shit as well. Becky's just grabbing the charger.
Definitely not shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Our audience poll was. Let's find out. I was checking it out earlier. It was seeming quite positive. Definitely not shit, 75%, and touching cloth, 25%. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty.
All
That's
right.
pretty good.
Let's go over to the Twitter master.
Oh, yeah.
What have we got this week, Mark?
So, what do we have? Oh, so the cat's climbing all over the place.
He's climbing all over me. I'm climbing for him.
So I put out a question to our audience. Say, our question for you this week: as summer begins to draw to a close in the UK, what are your favourite summertime movies? Ricky, Jaws, Dazed and Confused, Caddyshack for me. Andrew Jones says Dazed and Confused, Adventureland. That'll get you from the start to the bitter end of the season, which is a really good shout.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, those are very good shouts. What's some of your favourite summer movies, Rebecca?
Stand By Me. All of Stephen King's books about kids are set in the summer holidays, so anything where horrible stuff happens to children, it would appear.
Fair enough.
Stand By Me probably would be the winner.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
That's a summer movie.
It's sunny.
Fair enough. I'll take that. Yeah, solid. I'm going to throw ones like The Sandlot, Point Break.
Point Break's a good one.
Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's, but also things
Texas Chainsaw.
Like Texas Chainsaw.
When was...
Yeah, that'd work. What else is there? Beverly Hills Cop. Feels like a summer movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing's a fucking great shout. Why is always the answer to everything do the right thing? Comes up a lot, doesn't it? Just to make sure I haven't missed any ones. I don't think I have with those. I haven't now. So we'll get to questions because we have a couple, and we actually have one from before, don't we? Dylan Black Lanterns says, at Filmbusters, preemptive question for the next episode. Seeing as Doofus has decided he wants to die like the main character in Martyrs, which film deaths would you choose to go out on?
Wow. I'm sticking by my really boring answer that I said to you before.
I don't like this one, Rex.
Why?
Because you're just not getting the... You just know. Go on.
I want to die like at the beginning of Citizen Kane, just peacefully in my bed with a snow globe in my hand.
We have very different outlooks.
It's the most boring death that I can think of. I don't want an exciting death. Thanks. Definitely don't want to distress my close family. I'm really glad I missed that last week.
It's a basic conversation we were having.
You're just a terrible human.
Ian.
James Caan in The Godfather, but just completely just take me by surprise.
That's a fair show. Fair show.
Don't you get shot to shit?
Like, straight up, I either want to live long enough until I don't give a shit, or just take me completely by surprise. One or t'other.
That's a good shout. That's a good death scene as well. I want to be immortal, so I'm going to choose the non-death scene in Miller's Crossing.
No, you're not allowed to do that because you are the person who's who always says like, "Yeah, I'm not bothered about death and whatnot." You can't then say, "Oh, but I'm going to be immortal."
I'm not winking at Jordan right now.
Oh no, I mean, like, no, 100%. I mean, that is like, yeah, all right. If the whole point of that was to take the piss out of George, yeah. I respect that, and that's fair.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Yeah, no, I just what is that? What am I thinking? I had one the other day when I was talking to you about this, wasn't it, Bex?
Yeah, tell me.
Gone Girl. How are you not saying Gone Girl?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, Gone Girl. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. My murder throw's been used to get off a crazy motherfucker. Fine.
Are you giving me carte blanche to just stab you while we're, doing the deed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine with that. So like that, or like the fucking guy in Basic Instinct. Yep. Yep, there we go. Bring the tone up as usual.
You want to get Gone Girl?
Andrew Jones asks us, what filmmakers would you want to see integrate their own journey into cinema with characters from films they have made, a la Dante and Randall doing Clerks?
Forgive me, repeat the question?
What filmmakers would you like to... what filmmakers would you want to see integrate their own journey into cinema with characters from films they've made, a la Dante and Randall doing Clerks?
Who the fuck directed They Call Her One Eye?
Fucking hell.
What else is it called? Thriller, A Cruel Picture.
Yeah. It was... Alex Frindolinsky.
Yeah, alright, let's do that guy.
Yeah.
Having a deal with, like, having wronged one eye. And then deal with that.
Becky.
Don't come to me.
There you go.
Yeah,
I bet no one in a million years would have guessed that would be my answer to the question.
Are you still working out the question?
Kinda. You do yours. I'll see if I can think of something.
I'd like that John Carpenter, because John Carpenter now is basically saying that he's going to make movies because he just likes playing video games too much.
Nice.
And then it'd take away time from that. I'd like it if the John Carpenter, just all the video games he was playing happened to end up being just like his films. But he was playing them against like characters from his films. So like Jack Burton had come out to fucking play like Halloween with him in a 2-player.
It's like a journey through his filmography, but shown as him playing the video games of it.
Yeah, and then there's just like the person who's playing the video game, but the person who's playing the video game can't be the person from the film. From that film. Right. But at the same time, he's just chatting about shit that happened in his life around the same time as this film was getting made.
That's really good, that one.
So I was thinking it'd be like he's playing like In the Mouth of Madness, but it's like a Silent Hill style game.
That kind of thing. Yeah, that could kind of work. It's almost like one big game, but it flips between like different. Like he might sit down and fucking play like They Live, and it's like an 80s fucking scroll along. But then he might start to play fucking I don't know, Assault on Precinct 13, and it fucking looks like The Last of Us.
Yeah. Oh, I'd play the fuck out of that game.
Well, there you go. You're onto something here, Mark.
Could be, yeah.
Oh my god, the John Carpenter gaming universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The JCGU.
Fair enough.
Right, I will do another question. Ricky, what are your top 3 Kevin Smith films?
Dogma.
Yep.
I'll have to think longer than that. Clerks would be in there.
So you just came out the bat with just fucking just saying Dogma.
I really love Dogma. I was reading something earlier. He was explaining why that's not available for streaming anywhere. It's apparently because Harvey Weinstein's holding it hostage.
That does not surprise me.
Mm.
There's a few of them like that, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dogma, Clerks. Oh god. Do you know what?
Oh, I've just had a realisation about my top 3.
You can't just slap me in the face.
Probably deserved it.
What realisation?
My top 3 are Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy.
Right.
That's his first 3 movies.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm Clerks, Chasing Amy, Dogma, so but then Mallrats would be 4th.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dogma would be 4th in mine.
God, I dislike Mallrats.
What?
I really dislike Mallrats.
I fucking love Mallrats. Mallrats is one of my comfort movies.
Yeah, Mallrats is good.
For me, it has to be Clerks, Dogma, and Red State. Sorry.
Yeah, Red State's an interesting one.
What? I don't really like Chasing Amy or Mallrats. I'm not going to say fucking Tusk, am I? That's just...
What about Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
No.
Yeah, probably. Nah, fair enough.
Zack and Miri make a porno.
No, it wouldn't be that. Ew.
You liked Jack and Miri make a porno?
Seth Rogen in it.
Right?
No. I like Red State better.
Okay.
Stop looking so disappointed at me. I'm not a big Kevin Smith fan.
I need to rewatch Red State.
Yeah, you do. Do you know what you don't need to rewatch?
What?
Tusk. No one ever needs to watch that.
I quite enjoyed Tusk.
It's horrible.
I quite enjoyed it though.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You hated it when you watched it.
I did.
I'm pretty sure you did. God, I was just even reading the fucking synopsis. It's like...
That was our questions this week.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
What are we covering next week, Ian? Like, genuinely, what are we covering next week, Ian?
Oh, buddy boy. It's time. It's time for Don't Worry, Darling.
Is this out this weekend?
Oh my god. How excited
Yep.
you look.
I genuinely, I said to you earlier in X.
You did.
I was like, I actually genuinely don't know what we're covering next week. What's out this weekend? And I couldn't remember. I thought it was next weekend for some reason.
Also, I want to throw a challenge out to Bex over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I think you should watch the Avatar re-release, and we should all watch the Avatar re-release, and we'll review Avatar.
I do want to rewatch Avatar.
I made a promise to myself that I would go to my grave having not seen Avatar.
I think you need to see it.
Why?
So you can have an opinion on it.
Fucking awful.
But you might enjoy it.
But like you could watch it in IMAX 3D, which I am planning on doing when I'm in Florida, and like it is just like the optimal way of watching. Like you will not watch Avatar in a way more designed for Avatar than that. Do it.
You gotta think, can't you?
If I'm gonna watch it, I'd rather watch it on some kind of screening that's not gonna make my head explode.
I don't think it'll make your head explode. It's not visceral enough.
I don't like 3D. It hurts my brain.
All right, we'll have a discussion about that. If people want us to review Avatar with Becky watching Avatar for the first time, can you please at us on Twitter on the Film Bastards account and let us know that Becky needs to see some tall blue aliens?
Otherwise, you won't understand Avatar.
I wasn't planning on seeing it.
Yeah, we have to. It's part of the contract of the show.
Alright, well maybe I was planning on Downton Abbeying it.
No. You used your Downton Abbey in this year.
You are?
You used your one Downton Abbey on Downton Abbey this year.
I didn't watch Downton Abbey.
I know. You used it.
Shut up, that doesn't make sense.
Makes perfect sense.
It does make perfect sense.
No, Downton Abbeying is watching a film of something that you have no context for.
No, that's just me and him being stupid.
It was because like there was literally nothing even on streaming to review that weekend.
Yeah.
Also, I think we should cover that Do Revenge, the Netflix
I
film.
agree on that.
People are fucking loving that.
I have seen people love it, and I have seen people hate it. So it's got me interested.
Yeah, 100%. Let's cover Do Revenge.
Is that the girl out of Riverdale?
Well, I know that.
Yeah, it is.
But it's also Maya Hawke.
Yeah, which I'm alright with. Who the fuck's that weird looking guy? Just a weird looking guy.
We like Maya Hawke.
Yeah, we like Maya Hawke.
So yeah.
Directed by the girl who directed Something Great. I'll show you someone great.
What was that?
Netflix film from a couple of years ago. With Lakeith Stanfield. And
Did
Bridget
we watch
Snow.
it?
Yeah, it was alright.
Okay, you watched. I don't remember watching that at all. Okay, all right. But yeah. So we'll have. Don't worry, darling. We'll have Do Revenge. I'm not necessarily saying Avatar for next week because we're recording on Sunday. But I yeah. All right. Let's have a conversation. So, did all the preamble at the start, but yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Hope you enjoyed that generally, we hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy recording it, because we very much enjoy recording the show. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. So we will speak to you next week. But until then, thank you very much, Becky.
Thanks very much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ian.
And we wish you well. I don't know. Jason Reitman can suck my dick. I haven't said that for a bit. So there you go. Let's end with that. Bye.
Bye.